The United Nations, made up of 193 member states, has a sprawling array of various programs and funds unofficially referred to as the UN family. However, there is no United Nations Airways in the long list of the organisation's specialised agencies. So how come the UN has its own fleet of commercial aircraft? In many areas where the UN operates, commercial airlines do not. However, land transportation can be precarious, hindered by challenging security conditions and perhaps poor or non-existent roads. For the UN's peacekeeping missions, aircraft are most often chartered, although they are often painted with neutral UN colours and symbols, such as an AN-72 that crashed in Mali last month. Meanwhile, the humanitarian staff also need to reach places where people are most in need. These operations are run by the United Nations Humanitarian Air Service, or UNHAS, under the motto, "Our wings save lives." In turn, UNHAS is managed by the UN World Food Programme. UNHAS provides air transport not only to UN staff, but to all of the global humanitarian community. It makes certain that places affected by crises and natural disasters are not left without connectivity. It moves aid workers in, but it can also evacuate parts of affected populations. On an average month, the Air Service Agency transports 32,000 passengers and 300 tons of cargo to 323 regular destinations in 16 countries. It functions on a first-come, first-served basis and takes bookings and checks you in like any other carrier. To accomplish this, UNHAS makes use of about 90 aircraft, most of which are chartered. However, the United Nations itself owns or leases a fleet of 21 aircraft, averaging 22.7 years of age as of August 2020. Most of the UN's aircraft are smaller passenger planes, which makes sense given the terrain in which they need to operate. According to data from planespotters.net, the UN has one Bombardier CRJ-100 and 7 of the improved efficiency CRJ-200 model. It also has 5 Embraers, 2 ERJ-135s and 3 ERJ-145s. Furthermore, it owns 6 de Havilland-8 turboprops. These are used in humanitarian efforts. One example is a medical mercy flight out of war-torn Yemen for 7 individuals taking place in February this year. They could also be utilised to transport smaller contingents of UN representatives visiting missions. Meanwhile, it's occasionally necessary to move larger amounts of people between non-scheduled destinations quickly. For these purposes, the UN used to operate 3 737s between 2011 and 2018. Since December last year, however, it leases one narrow-body Airbus A320. For longer-range purposes, it keeps a Boeing 767. The 767 is actually operated under UN livery by Ethiopian Airlines and is used to transport larger groups of people great distances. For example, it often flies Nepali peacekeepers from Kathmandu to places like the Central African Republic or Congo. Did you know the United Nations had its own fleet of aircraft, or is this news to you? Let us know in the comments. Did you know that we publish over 175 stories every single week on simpleflying.com? Be sure to check the link in the description for more great stories just like this. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe before you go.